Takes a village. Takes a village. I'm telling you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I'd be really pissed if I didn't record this one. Okay. So I would like to teach you three tangles and then do a tile. So it's a lot, but I think that um, particularly one of them is straightforward enough that we should be able to get through three. All right. If we run into hiccups along the way, I'm going to do the harder ones first. So we'll know that if we run into hiccups, I'll push, okay, and shift gears. But I really think these are going to be good. I'm so excited. I'm very excited about this particular lesson. I've had a lot of fun with it since I finished grading 40 papers. Woo woo! So I've had a lot of energy because I'm not grading 40 papers anymore. So I am going to share my screen and then I'm going to show you my camera. Okay, this, because I always show you what I do in class, right? And I try to pass on what I'm learning, at least observationally. Okay, now most of you should remember this tangle because we did it, remember?
Yeah.
It's called NAYU, right?
Yeah.
So what Joanna did for us is she said, we're going to do NAYU in a grid. Now, I am not a grid girl. I hate grids. So the minute she said that, I went, oh shit. But I hung in. So just to show you that I also show you my mistakes. This is the first one I did. And I got so obsessed because you can see that my very first one, I made the seed shapes so large, I had no room for my circle, right? Because I've never done this in this size square before.
I'll call you later. Okay.
Okay, so second one and third one, I did great, right? Moving right along. Then I got so obsessed with the seed shapes and where they belonged. Oops, I forgot I forgot the orb in here, right? So all the rest of these are quite lovely, but they're wrong, quote unquote. But there are no mistakes, right? So I went ahead and I finished and I shaded and all that. And then I thought, no, I'm doing this again. So I got another tile and I did it again. And this time I laid all my seed shapes down first. All right. So I could line them up and I could have a sense of symmetry because it's a grid. And the only thing I want to point out to y'all is this is what's called meta patterns. And because I'm not a grid person very much, I never really talk much about that. But this is the tangle, right? So that's the single tangle that we repeated 9 times. But if you take this and you look at what you begin to see. I picked it up this morning and I went, oh my God, look, that's a little flowery kind of shape thing. And then I went, oh, look, these are circles. Can you kind of see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what happens when you put tangles together is that you create these patterns with tangle to tangle to tangle. And then what we do as teachers is we tend to then put tiles next to each other. And you'll see that you can even create those patterns across tiles. All right? Does that make sense? It was very fun once I did it again. And anyway, so one thing I would like for you all to think about, and we'll talk about it more next week if Haunani will let me, is I have resisted the idea of us having a kind of an online group where we post our tiles because, you know, comparison is the death of creativity. So I always try to avoid us comparing tiles, but in some respects, it could be fun to share with each other. So I just would like you to spend 2 seconds this week to think about that, and then we can come back and talk about it in future weeks. Okay? Is that an okay thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the 3 tangles we're going to learn today. This is called Walu,
Ooh.
okay? And I'm going to walk you through it. This is called Sunlight. You can see they're not overly difficult. This is called Tutors,
Oh, man.
okay? We're going to start with Walu. So I would recommend you take a piece of scratch paper or a sketchbook, whatever you tend to work in when it's a new pattern. All right.
I'm
Now,
sorry, Peggy. Who
yes,
is that by?
yes, let me put it back and I can show you. It's
Yeah.
Rhea Matheson. We have done some Rhea Matheson tangles in the past. If you look her up online, she has a wonderful website that has lots and lots of stuff on it.
Thank you.
It's Matheussen.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what you can see immediately, although I screwed this one up, but you get the general idea, is there are two ways that you can do Walu. I'm going to show you first the tangle itself, how she did it, and then I'm going to show you an alternative. All right, fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, so this is called Walu. I have absolutely no lights on here. This is all ambient light from the sun, which, you know, as the seasons change, my lighting situation changes. So if you can't see, yell at me and I'll make an adjustment if I need to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Walu begins with two simple S curves on their side. Okay. So you do your first one. And then you imagine that you're going to do a second one that if it was just going to be an extension of this, right? You would just hook your pen right here and you just go on. But I want you to leave a space. And I want you to leave a space that's about this part of your pen. So you see kind of what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm going to leave that space. And I'm going to do the exact same thing again. So it's just two S curves on their side. All right, everybody's with me?
Mm-hmm.
So this is how Rhea does her step out for the tangle. So the next step is you aura on both sides of that S curve. I don't like to aura this way, but because I can't see it, but I'm going to do it so I don't have to turn my tile 90 times. Normally when I aura, I always turn so that my pen is underneath what I am auraing so I can see it. Just a tip. How's that? Now I want you to do that again. I want you to aura again on both sides of that S curve. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the beginning. Next step, you're going to create an S curve that's going to run through these. Now, let me show you first, and then you draw yours. Fair enough? So I'm going to come here. I'm going to lift up my pen because I go behind. I'm going to come down here, go between where that space is, go up, and then come down here. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
One line at a time. It's amazing that you can create this with one line at a time. Blows my mind. But then it always does. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my tile. All right. And on this line, I'm going to put little leaves, little kind of fluxy shapes. Let me show you what I mean. And you kind of get into a pattern where you're just doing, and I want you to notice, because you're going to get all flummoxed about the fact that these have to be exactly right. They have to be exactly the same shape. They have to be against the line or not. None of that matters. It really doesn't matter. I mean, have you ever seen leaves on a vine that all are exactly identical? That would be no. So you're just going to go like that until you come up to exactly like I've done here, right? And like I've done here. And all I'm doing is little flux shapes. Now I got some choices. If I pull them away from the line more, then I could actually go this direction. You see what I mean? And that kind of changes how they look a little. But what I found when I was doing this is I got into kind of a pattern, and I've done this many times, is I kind of got into a pattern and I just went this way and then this way. And then I went this way and then this. And it doesn't matter because it looks like a little string of leaves, kind of like ivy, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you go off a little, doesn't matter. One's bigger or smaller, doesn't matter. The reason I like this is it kind of gets you into the Zen, because it's just so much just a repetitive, really satisfying shape that you're drawing that doesn't need to be perfect. And there it is. And it looks fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't oh,
Yours
come
does.
on. And I didn't make them all the same. Look, these guys are all little pookies down there. I'm going to have to fill that in.
I wish my little pookies look like your little pookies.
All you got to do is just get into a rhythm and just practice till you like how they look. If you've got a gap, like I do here, okay, all I do is I just bring my 5 lines down so that they meet, okay? And then in Walu, what you do is you ink this in. Now this is the regular step up. So you can see what I did here. I inked it in. Okay, and this is the one we just did, that version. All right, the second way you can do Walu is you do your 2 S curves on their side, okay? And then you do your leaves first. And for some of you, this might be more comfortable because you want to do your leaves and get them the heck out of the way because your little boopies don't look like my little boopies or whatever. Remember, comparison is the death of creativity, y'all. Doesn't matter that it doesn't need to look like mine.
Well, hello. Hello.
So here's just, see?
I have a question.
Sure.
Peggy, when
Hi,
you,
Linda.
hey, when you colored in on the top, you filled it in with, is that little petals and you just have a little bit of black solid?
No,
there?
I didn't finish.
Oh,
I cheated. This is called, I was trying to get through this tangle too fast.
oh, okay. Well, I couldn't quite figure that out.
I don't blame you because it looks like little scribbles.
Okay, okay.
That's what it should look like.
All right, thank you.
So what that tells you, is that you're making decisions when you draw that in between line, how far away from the other line you get. That's all. So here on this one, okay, the further away you get, the more you ink in. The closer you
Right.
get, the less you ink in.
Right. Okay.
Does
Perfect.
that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
So on this one, I'm doing my leaves first. I came across this tangle accidentally, actually, and I was trying to figure out something that I wanted to put on the other two tangles on this tile. And I thought this would be perfect. So you may hate me, but that's what I thought. We'll see. We'll see whether you agree or not. Okay. So there's my two F curves on the side with the little fluxy leaves on them. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing I did up here, right? I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to come down behind. I'm going to go up. That wasn't a very well done one, but that's all right. And I'm going to come like that. I kind of didn't do my curve very well, but you'll see it isn't going to matter. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to aura just like I did above. On either side of that line. And then I'm going to do that again. Some people really, and I've looked at a couple of CZT presentations of this tangle, and some people prefer to draw the leaves first, and other people prefer to draw the lines first. But in the end, you get the same tangle.
I think drawing the leaves first is easier.
Well, there you go. Then that's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can see, I should have just done the single line here up above, but I think you get that part. These are the two ways that you can do it. But that, very simply, that's Walu. There's no other magic. Now, while you're working on that, I'm going to show you something that I thought was kind of fascinating. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I thought you could. So this is, oh heck, who are you?
Heather something Gladden.
Heather Hartwick Gladden. Thank you. Her name went all out of my head there for a minute. This is her website. She does she goes on really tough Tangle Tuesdays, she calls it. So she did a class on this, but look at this. So what I'm trying to say is this may be Walu, the plain old one I just showed you, but you can do Walu in a circle. You can do Walu where one is up and one is down. You can do Walu with an S that's on top, all your lines, you see? And this is all the same tangle. It's just all these people did different stuff with it, right?
That's
So
cute.
I'm working on an opus tile that I'm calling Circus. And so what I did is I played around with, what if instead of leaves, I did orbs and then had balloons come out? Do I want orbs exactly the same or orbs all different, like little rock thingies? Do I want no orbs? Do I want some? So and all I did was I just made my lines go one direction and my other line go another. It's the same tangle with a modification. All right. This is obviously scratch. This is like, what does it look like if I try different things? Okay.
No.
But that's what this picture is also showing you, that they just did all different kinds of stuff with these interlacing lines of tangle. I thought some of these were quite cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can put this I'll put this website up on our resources page
Thank you.
so that you can look at all these. I thought
Yeah.
this was fascinating because this is Cadent.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
and then she just drew this on top or left a space. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. I guess she had to leave a space.
Looks a little too much like a snake.
It does. It
Yeah.
does.
It
I can't
does.
argue with that. I agree. But you get the idea.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. That looks like jewelry.
Absolutely.
So, and then this one does the leaves differently. And then this, so whatever your
That's
heart
very
desires. Okay. I'll put this website up. Okay. So go back here. So that's your first angle. Look at that. You already got it. All right.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I think the learning curve is you need to, I didn't leave enough space between the flowers and the Wahoo lines.
Right.
So,
So when you made your S curves, so there's that,
yeah.
and then that, okay, and you do your lines. The question becomes, how do you want to draw that next set of lines? And that does take practice. But here's what I'll also show you is you cheat. Because, well, I guess I don't want to show you the other one. When we get to the tile, I'll show you a cheater. And the cheater is if you didn't leave enough space or you have too much space. If you have too much space, you just add in some leaves. Like here,
Yeah.
I don't want to ink all that in, right? So I'm just going to do a little. My leaves are just going to go up and around because leaves aren't all the same everywhere, right? Now look, that doesn't look any different. And then I don't have as much to ink in. If you don't have enough, all right, it depends on what you did first. But you can also make those. You see how here I made them tiny?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's how much room I had.
Right.
Right.
I didn't have room. So it doesn't matter. In the end, when you look at all those other ones that they did, they had all different ways that the two lines intersected. Okay, does that help a little?
Yes.
All right,
Peggy.
can I go to the, yes.
Can you just leave that up on the bottom a little bit? I'm
This one?
no, the one you had on there before. Yeah, see the bottom thing there. I don't know. I'm not getting my S's right somehow.
Okay. One of the things I learned when I first started doing this tangle is you start with the dip going down and then the dip going up.
Dip going down and then dip going up. Okay.
So your first
And
two
then-
S curves should go this way. I'm kind of running out of room, so they're not exactly perfectly shaped. Okay. And then what do you like, Janet? Do you like the leaves first or the lines first?
No, I'm just trying to get that line. That's
Oh, okay, fair
problem.
enough. Let me turn it over.
my second line just doesn't look like an S anymore.
Okay, think about it this way, and you can do it in pencil first if that helps. If you think about down, up, right? And all you've done is you've left a gap right here.
Okay.
So if you think about going on in a curve,
Yes. Okay, that helps. Thanks.
yes, that does. I had to do the same thing. So what I did is I went, why does this look like my first ones kind of looked a little weird. In fact, they were so weird. I don't even think I kept them around. Sorry about that, because I usually show you my mistakes, but does that help a little?
Yes, but then now the adjoining the line that goes between them.
Right. All right. So this, all right, then I stop and then I come
Yes.
back
Yes,
and this. All right.
yes.
So pretend they have leaves on them just for the sake of argument. And so I'm going to come up above. You can do it. Let me see if I can say this right. What I'm showing you is the way the step out is. But the reality is you have total freedom to do it any way you want. The
Mhm.
way she teaches it is she kind of goes above where the dip is here,
Yes,
and she comes down.
yes.
Now you're going to go behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to come around through your gap.
Through the gap.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you're going to come here and you're going to go behind and you're going to finish out like that.
Okay, now that helped.
Good.
Somehow I just couldn't get the right look.
No, I understand. Believe me. Okay, is everybody close enough or okay enough or
Yeah.
something enough?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to do sunlight. Are you ready?
Sure.
So I learned this tangle in my class. I wasn't in the class. I was watching the recording because I missed the actual live class. And it's brand new. Eileen Chan, where we found it, where Joanna found it, and then I found the step out, is on Facebook. And she is a CZT Singapore. I don't know from where. I don't want to say because I don't remember. But you can look her up. And this is her tangle that she created. Now, I'm going to warn you, the hardest part about this tangle is getting the shape right at the start. Okay, so here's what we did in my class.
Wow.
All right. But you see, I don't have the shape right. You see, because I've still got these little pointy frickin' things
Mhm.
that you're not supposed to have, or at least not according to her step out, right?
That's when you use your eraser.
Yeah.
I like yours.
You start in
yours better,
pencil and
Peggy.
use your eraser. I didn't start in pencil, so I couldn't erase. But here's the gig that I have worked on this one a lot because I have trouble with the shape. And what I learned is you're not doing, you know, our typical leafy thing that we do. You're not doing that. What you're doing is basically a big fat. See, and here's my problem. I'm going to share this with you that annoys the hell out of me. I can do it perfectly on this side going up this way. I come back this way and invariably I will make it weird. See how it's so what I do is I started in pencil. So my very first, my shape, I create the shape in pencil. And I work it until I get it the way I want it. Because if you don't get your shape, then you get pissy about the whole rest of the tangle, which I have learned. So that's all you want. There's not much, and hers is even fatter than the one I just made. Hers typically, and I'm going to show you her examples. So it's a big fat little shape, kind of that comes to a small point, not a big one. So I just used my pencil until I liked it. You see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And so then I just took my pen and I went, okay, I'm good with that shape. That's good. And now I can start from something that is going to work better for me.
Why don't you just turn your tile?
Yeah.
I can't, it, because I have tried that. It doesn't help me.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I hear you. So I do that, right? And then I think, okay, I'll just do it the other way. No, because I'm coming from this direction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's
Thank
no
you.
good way for me. Now that one wasn't too damn bad.
That's good. That was good.
Okay. But if you get the shape, okay, so let's assume we have the shape. I'm just gonna grab another piece of paper so you don't have all my ugly shapes. So let's see if I can do that again. Well, it's not gonna be quite as fat as I might like, but I'm gonna keep going, okay? And I'm gonna divide that shape in half. Whether I love the shape or don't love the shape, I'm living with it. Okay?
Mhm.
On the left side of that shape, I'm going to make a crescent moon kind of shape, you know, the little bump. And I'm going to ink it in. Let's get distractions out of the way here a minute. Pretend it's beautifully shaped, okay? Because in the end, it's really not going to matter. As you can tell, I didn't throw my tile away. Even though the shape is a little off, I still went with it, right? So now you're going to aura that bump 2 times. Okay? So I'm going to keep going. If I start going too fast, you just need to yell at me, okay? So now what I do is I start, you know, that take off and land thing we talk about in Zentangle all the time. I'm going to take off from the top of this second aura, and I'm just going to go right up to there. It's just a little curvy line. I'm going to go down just a little bit, and I'm going to go up to there. I'm going to go down just a little bit. Okay, are you getting it?
Mhm.
So the idea is you're just taking off from the aura and then you're doing a curvy line toward the side. And I just turn my tile as I go down. It's only lines, nothing fancy, nothing secret. And I'll probably do one more. Okay? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought somebody called me.
You go all the way down.
So you start from various points along that aura line, and you just take a line. Here you draw up to this, right? Curved lines, and then up to the side. You're just drawing a line to the end of the shape.
Does it matter how close they are?
Nope.
Yeah.
Let me say that better. You are free to do them as close or far as you wish. You want to leave enough space so you can put weight on the end. So I'm going to weight the end of each one of these lines. Now, when you weight the end of a line, the easiest way to do that is to kind of draw a little triangle at the end and then bring that triangle into the line. Do you know what I'm saying? Should I
Yes.
show? Does that
No,
make
that's-
sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a good,
Okay, good.
good way to do it.
Because this, you want substantial weight here, because this is what kind of makes this tangle, I think. Kind of looks like an eye to me sometimes, but
Yeah.
All right, so all I did was draw those lines and then put weight at the end. Can I keep going or do I need to wait?
Go ahead.
Now we're going to start down at the very bottom and we're going to do the other
All
side.
right.
And we're just going to draw lines, curved lines up to the side. There's no magic. There's no rule. You just want them to look decent. Now it is a little more attractive when you get the shape right. But you see my gist.
Mhm.
Okay, and here it's exactly the same thing. I just made them a little pointy.
Now those seem to turn down on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, they go up.
They both, how do I want to say this? Yes, because I did it that way, not because it necessarily is that way in the step out.
Either way.
I tend to weight lines on the right-hand side. Okay? If I had weighted these lines on the other side, you would have thought they kind of went differently. Follow? So what I did is I went like this, okay, just like we did, up, 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 because it comes off of here.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying, Peggy.
I'm sorry, honey, what?
I'm saying on the left-hand side that you just completed,
Yep,
those lines are pointing up.
correct.
And on the drawing that you showed us before, they're turning down.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yep.
you're talking about mine here.
Correct.
Because I was learning.
Okay, so it is
And
one of
this
the,
is not the step out.
I see. So,
This is the step out.
got it. Thank you.
You're fine. That's fine. This is me learning.
Okay.
But here's the bottom line, Janet. Either
It doesn't
way,
matter, right? It doesn't
Correct.
matter.
in the
Yeah.
end, both are fine.
Mhm.
And I'll show you an example because I think it's worth seeing her work. So I need to go to her. Okay, so
Okay.
let me just enlarge that a smidge if I can. Yeah. So you see, she goes up, right?
Yes, yes,
And then here, she's also going up.
yes.
It's just, I did mine wrong.
No, it's just different. It's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, there is no wrong. Thank you for reminding me.
And it looked fine. It looked great.
Yeah. I agree.
I did mine differently than the step out. That's what I need to say.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at her sample here, she
Mhm.
created this.
Love that.
Mhm.
Okay, she did it even a little differently because she gave herself a little extra spot here where she could do some extra
Mhm.
shading, right?
Yeah.
Because she did hers more kind of curvy and then less curvy. So
Yeah.
either is good.
Mhm.
It almost looks like a little pocket.
Yep,
the
it
wood.
does. It does
does.
for sure.
I like the line
Yeah.
that goes all the way around.
So, and you look, she's also got a little pointy up here,
Uh-huh.
like I had, right?
Yeah.
So the point I try to make with all of these is there's a step out that tells you the how, but in
Mhm.
reality, it's yours to fool with.
Right.
Okay?
Mhm.
Let me look at my time.
Mhm.
All right, we're okay. The last one is very straightforward. but fun as heck. And this is called Tutors by Hildy van Ginhoven, who is from the Netherlands. And I listened to her video on this tangle, and it was very hard for me because she goes between Dutch and English. And I kept getting confused. But I'm going to walk you through this. You got lots of choices here, okay? So basically, Tutors starts just like poke root, poke leaf, Ritsy, Rixty. You just are doing a stem. You put a line across the stem, and then you just connect the line down to the stem. And then you ink in these little spots right here. This is kind of how you do Rixty that I showed you a couple weeks ago. Okay? Can I keep going?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that if I'm going too fast, you're going to yell, okay? So the next step of this is I'm going to go all the way around and create a little circle around that those inked in triangles.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy, right?
Yep.
And now it's just circles, y'all. So I'm going to come down a little further on my stem, and I'm going to make another circle and bring it back. I got more room here, so I'm being more magnanimous with my circles. And now I'm going to make another one. And wonders never crease. I'm going to make one more.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the fun part. At the top, she does a little, kind of dealy like that. And then one inside it. Then she does an orb in the middle with a little sparkle. I'm going to show you a modification in a second, okay? And all we're going to do now is we're going to tangle inside those circles. And we're going to make it easy. So are you ready?
No,
Okay, I'll wait.
orb in the middle with a sparkle. Okay, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Yep.
That's the basic layout. Now I've seen her do different tangles in these circles, but here's the key ones, all right? So in this one, you're going to now your circle is getting larger going out, right? So I just do curved lines in pairs. And I've done this a number of ways, and this has been the easiest for me, but you guys can. So I usually do 4 or 5, depending on how much space I have. Okay, so I have 4 pairs of lines. This one's a little, where am I? This one's a little wonky, but that's okay. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to ink these in, but I'm going to leave sparkle in the middle. So I'm going to ink them in with a little, where you leave jagged edges on the center. Which is what these are. See, just however many I got room for, however I happen to draw it. And I'm going a little quickly, so I probably am not filling them in quite as well as I would. Little messy.
We are having a very bad storm here.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Well, if everybody leaves me, I guess I'll know why. Okay,
Yep. Yeah.
that's kind of the first. Now you can see in my other ones here, I did different things. One that I like in this one is she just does right? And then she does circles in the middle, kind of punk-like. And then she did the same thing on the other side in one of them. So staying with the easy, okay?
Looks like teeth.
Yes, it does, Lit. You can tell that I did kind of a verge. I don't remember what it's called. In this one is a little different, but you know, go with what feels good to you. If you have a tangle you love and you want to use it, use it. What she typically does in the top one is she just does parallel lines, sets of 2 lines going the other direction. You know what I'm saying? Kind of going this way. And then she does that same ink in with sparkle.
We've been down the shore for 4 days and not a bit of sun.
Wow.
Oh,
I know. It's foggy.
That's depressing. I'm sorry.
It is, yes, me too. We're hoping for Saturday and Sunday.
You're still there?
Yes. We'll probably leave Sunday or Monday.
And then what Hildy does with this at the end is she goes like this. With a little bit of sparkle in the end of the fescue. Meaning you leave a little white space. I didn't do very well on that one, but you get the gist. And those are your 3 tangles. Now, I know you're still working, so don't worry. Here, this is my,
wow.
this is a bunch of tutors.
Oh, wow.
That's fun.
And I love tutors, but what I did, you can see, what did I do? What did I change?
You put sunlight in it.
Sunlight in it, yeah.
I took this because I drew this shape and I went, well, hell, that's just like sunlight. So this time I took tutors and I put sunlight on the top.
Hmm.
Now, I have mixed things. I think it's kind of cool, but there you go. I did henna drum.
And the drum, of course.
Yeah, and a drum.
Of course I would, right? It's me. Here I did verge, where I just came off from the
yeah.
circle in the center. And here I did, begins with an O, onomato,
Yeah.
where you do the double lines and then you put the large orb in the middle and you go out from it. And I just did 4 rows of onomato. Here I did henna drum and some fescue. Just tried different stuff.
That's
Okay.
too fun.
That's
Now
so
here's the tile that incorporates all 3.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Okay.
Love that.
So this is what we're going to do together. We're going to draw this. I stuck some sunlights right on there. And then here's a fun thing I did is I took that line, right? And I said, well, wait a minute. What if that line came up? So I put the line up and then brought it back down and put the line up and brought it back down and did the same thing down here. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about these two tutors, maybe more than, but this is taking all three tangles, and you can't really, I've got it shaded, but the light there, that shows you the shading.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's on a 3.5 by 3.5 inch tile. Plain old, plain old. Are you ready?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
Sure. Of
That's a
course.
lot of stuff to put on
Of
one little
course.
tile.
Watch.
Of
You can
course.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
So the way you start is you take your pencil, and instead of corners and borders, we're just going to mark like a third in or a quarter maybe, and a quarter in up at the top. And we're just going to draw a curvy line to meet those two. Can you kind of see that? There it is.
Whoops, wrong tile.
So,
Where that
oh,
sunlight is. What?
Is it curvy like an S?
No.
No. It's just, okay.
Let me hang on. Let me draw it darker.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
And the only reason you're doing that line is just to give you kind of a framework of where you want to put your S curves. That's it. Okay. So now I'm going to take my pen. I'm going to erase this a little bit because I'll think it's a pen. And now I'm going to let me put it back up here. Now I'm going to do those curves, right? So I'm going to go down and then up. I'll leave a space, pretend like I was still drawing, down and then up. I'll leave a space, down, and that's all I got room for. Okay. So what's your vote? Am I doing the leaves or am I doing the lines?
Leaves.
Leaves.
Okay.
That's leaves.
All right. I'm doing the leaves. You'll notice they're not all the same. They're just different. But once you put them all together, nobody notices. You know, I struggled with this at first until I finally realized that it didn't matter. And once I figured that out, I could go really fast.
Some of us aren't going really fast. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Looks like I've smeared this tile because I was in a hurry. Let's see what I can do with that.
How are you doing with your left hand, Dan?
I can't keep up with the left hand, and it's
I
terrible.
know it's too fast. If
Yeah,
you're
so
doing your
I'm
non-dominant hand, it's
I'm
hard.
working up with the right hand, and I'm doing sort of
Okay.
almost okay.
Okay. How are we?
Oh, boy.
Getting there.
Now, I'm going to just listen a minute while you're working on your leaves, okay? The issue with the next line is you always have choice, right? And sometimes that can be a blessing and sometimes it can be a curse because too much choice and we start second guessing ourselves. So what I'm going to do, because I think it would look cool, is I'm going to bring mine around this way. Because I thought it would be kind of neat to curve up from the bottom, like there was more lines going down. And now I'm going to go up through my gap. Yeah, see, I wish I had been closer here, but there you go. Okay. Now I'm going to go up through my gap. And there's nothing, see, it's all different. It's different than the way I did it the last time. It isn't a rule followed line. I'm not saying that, right? But I went with what felt fun in the total waloo, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I'm just going to go and aura these. So it'll take me a while. So I'll just kind of work on it. And if you have questions or need help, all you have to do is yell. And see, that's totally different than the other ones that I've done. Okay, so I've auraed one time on either side of my line. Do you want to see how I make my lines come up in order to do the tutors, or do you not care?
Yeah, we want to see.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to put one here because I'll do just a sunlight here probably. So I'm just going to go ahead and aura on this side. Same thing in here, so I don't want to do it there. But I do want to do one here. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go off. Like I'm getting ready to do the stem of a tutors.
Oh,
And then I'm just going to come down and continue on.
uh-huh.
That's simple.
Got it.
Ooh.
Okay. So I'm going to go around like this. I think I'm going to do one more here. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to come back down and I'm going to go around. And now I got a spot for my two tutors.
There.
Two tutors. I don't know about that. So I have one more line to do, one more aura on the bottom. my center line. I've done 2 auras on the top, only 1 on the bottom. So now I'll just do 1 more on the bottom. So the question is, do I want any tutors coming off on the bottom? You recall on this little baby, I did baby tutors. Sorry. That came off on the bottom. I don't think I want to do tutors, but I'm thinking I might. So let's see how this works. I'm thinking I might do a muka and then come back to my line. Uh-oh, wrong direction. Okay.
Okay.
And all I did was give myself 2 trunks for tutors. And I threw, this one has gone the wrong way, which is why it isn't as nice as this one. Because I didn't do my line the right direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't do mine either.
But it doesn't matter because you just ink in your base. And you don't care. And that is Walu with a little embellishment. Okay, so right here, I'm not close enough here, so I'm going to throw a couple leaves in here, right? I may throw a leaf in here or 1 in here.
I took them off the wrong side.
So that doesn't matter, whichever side you want is fine.
I have more room on the other side.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So before I do my tutors, I want to make sure that I have room for 1 or 2 sunlights because I like the sunlights on the Walu rope. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to use my pencil. I'm going to cheat. If my Walu goes, if my tutors goes like this, and then like this, I don't have gobs of room. So let's just do yeah, not a very big one. You guys doing okay?
Huh?
Eh,
Okay, that doesn't sound very good.
That's encouraging, isn't it?
Well, it's realistic.
The truth.
Yeah.
I found that sunlight's most difficult thing for me was getting the darn shape. And there it is. Sorry about the light in here.
Mhm.
I think that makes it worse. Oh, no, maybe that helps a little. I think I'm going to stick one up here. Getting bold. Drawing with my pen and no pencil. Kind of looks like an owl with one eye to me.
I think the representation of sunlight is great because darkness is on the right and sunlight is shining on the left.
Perfect.
So it would be interesting to shadow the right side, shade the right side a lot because it would be the darkness.
Yes, and that's how you shade it. It's much more heavily shaded on the heavy when you put on the line weight side,
Mm-hmm.
and very lightly shaded on the side with just the lines. Okay, I'm going to do my tutors. Not bad. May even be able. Nah, don't do that. Now, I don't like that much inking in. So I think I'm going to make some little offshoots. Means I have to make some offshoots over here. You probably will not finish. Do not worry, doesn't matter. Back to it when you feel moved. Not so bad, huh? Need to figure out a way. Let me try to close this other black. Helps a little.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So I'm thinking this is perfect. No. Wow. That helps.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yes.
So I blocked the light coming from that direction a little better. There we go. That's better. So you can see these are my, and my question is, what I want to do on the top of these. One of the ones I saw was like this. Because I have so many other things going on here. I don't think I'm going to do sunlight on the top of these, but
Some storm again, huh? Some storm again. I'm a little squeamish about the storm, folks, because we had a flash of lightning shoot through one of our rooms 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Do
Sitting
what
there.
you need to do to take care of you.
Ugh.
Same thing happened in Patty and Janet's apartment.
Did it?
Yeah.
We just saw the lightning just flash right in the front of the two of us. We both screamed.
Wow.
Wow.
Any damage?
Nope. We thought our TVs and our electronics would go out, but they didn't.
That's
Stay
strange.
away from the windows.
It kind of, well, our room is
Easy to
surrounded by
say.
windows.
Yeah.
Go in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's what they tell us.
it's true. This time of year, we spend a lot of time in the bathroom.
You got it.
Making tutors.
There
Right.
There you
There you
go. Sounds good, Janet.
Okay, Janet, that was excellent.
That was uncalled for, I know.
No, it was wonderful.
That's good.
Well, I don't know. This may be too much, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let me just show you a tiny bit of shading so that when you get there. So the tutors are pretty, you want to shade at that very bottom to give it a sense of kind of going in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay.
And then this theoretically, each of these theoretically is behind, right? Gives you that sense of curve. Now this one I'm not going to shade because the ink will get shiny. Right? You guys know that when you use graphite on the ink, it gets shiny.
Yeah.
Unless one exception to that is, see if I've got it. If you use a Faber-Castell Pit matte, graphite matte, sorry. Hillary taught us this and I just kind of ignored it for a long time. And then I started using it and I really, really like it because I can shade, if you look right here, I can shade even into the ink and it doesn't make it shiny.
Oh, no.
Now that's a little too dark, but you get the idea. And even though I'm over, don't you love it that you can do that? Even though I'm over the ink a bit, it doesn't turn all weird. So just sharing. All right, speaking of sharing, does anyone want to?
Go ahead and
Sure.
go.
Okay, I
Sure.
know it was a lot of tangles. But I think you can use them to create all kinds of stuff. And we'll see. I'm working on my Opus towel. We'll see how it goes. So who would like to show? Anybody?
So I
Yes.
did one more from last week that I really like. So
All
I can
right.
show you that.
All
I'm
right,
not
we'll
far
do.
enough.
Okay, we'll go
Yeah.
ahead, Gwen, and have you do that, and then I'll do Margaret. Go
I
ahead,
like
Gwen.
it because I did it on round,
Oh,
Oh,
round
nice.
I
10.
love that.
It was fun. I really
Nice.
like that one.
Happy.
Very nice.
Great. Thank you.
On a phi tile, best,
Yeah.
excellent way. Yep,
It
good.
made,
I
Very
I feel
nice.
like it made sort of a garden effect with the wall.
Yes.
Yep. All right, go ahead, Margaret.
Oh,
I've
good.
got a lot more to do.
Cool.
Oh, but that's pretty.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job. Hold on, I can't
Yeah.
seem to get around
I,
that.
I have
teacher.
one.
I'm sorry?
I'm almost finished with mine.
Okay,
Mike?
Mike, give me a sec.
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, this is what I did.
Oh.
Awesome.
Pretty.
Nice.
Awesome. I love it.
That's
Yeah.
So
Then when I
fast,
got,
Mike.
Oh,
then when I
Mike,
got the
wait,
supplies
wait.
out, this.
Wait,
this-
Mike, hold it up a minute. Hold it up a minute.
Myra, has he always been fast?
I love, no,
Yeah,
I
okay.
love what you did
sunlight.
with the
I do
sunlight.
too.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And then
That's
this
good.
morning,
Wonderful.
this morning before class, I did a round tile.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Neat.
Beautiful.
That,
Nice.
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you do the pattern yourself, Mike, or was it a,
Yes, when I use, if I can find them.
He uses that stencil
There's
that
that,
we talked about.
yeah,
wait.
that we talked about? Yep,
Yes.
yep.
yeah, I'll show you what. I bought these sheets. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can see them.
Yeah, those-
we got them, yeah.
Oh,
It
Yeah, I
was,
bought these different
Hillary
sheets,
talked
and
about
then
them. Yeah,
you-
I got them
Then to
too.
put
Yeah,
dots on your tile.
perfect.
helps.
Yep,
Ah,
yep. I use those too, Mike. I love them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what, I really like those for doing the Zendalas.
Dollars, yes, I do
Yeah.
too. All right,
Where did you get those, Mike?
I don't remember. I guess I got it
I
on
have-
Amazon.
I have the link. I can put it in the resources. So let me,
Oh,
I need a
great.
list
Thank
because
you.
God knows I forget.
They're really
Link
nice.
to circle graphs. Yeah, they're
Great.
called Genevieve something,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it's called.
I got them. I'll put the link in and then I need to link to
Oops, sorry.
Halu, right?
Very
Okay,
squeaky.
I got it. All right, does anybody else want to show? Let me see. Who wants? Susan Michelson, you are on.
Oh,
Ooh, great.
very nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Love it, love it.
Yeah.
I think this is a fun little combination.
Yeah, I like it.
Lots of different stuff.
and
Anybody
everybody's
else?
different, and that's what's so much fun.
Yes.
All right,
That's
do you want me
right.
to go around and ask or what?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right,
that.
Janet, do you want to show?
Oh, I have almost nothing, so I don't even know if you can see
Oh,
it.
but no.
Oh,
you
yes.
That's
Oh,
not
that's
true.
great.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. Yes.
That's great.
Good.
Great.
That's mostly in pencil.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I understand. Susan Cheschler.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
Love
That is
that.
neat.
Yeah.
Have to fill it in yet. Not
that's
filled
neat.
in.
That's great. See, you guys handled all these. There was no problem. You got this.
Yes, yes.
And do you want to show or are you just barely getting
Sure.
by here?
You just understand that.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's
Oh,
good.
wow.
I'm
Wow.
impressed.
You
Oh,
did it.
I'm impressed. I'm
So
really
I need to put
impressed.
more. I'm going to do another one of the sunlight over here.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Neat.
Mary. Let's see. Mary Moran, Crook.
Okay.
Mary,
Oh,
which name am I
Oh,
supposed to be
yes.
using?
that's- I wanna see. Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
I'm not
Cool.
very
That's
far
nice.
along,
Like
but
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
awesome.
lot of fun.
It is
nice. Nice.
It is fun, isn't it? I thought
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was a fun combination. Well, I was hoping it was. I mean, I
It
thought it was.
is.
I
You
was
were
hoping
right.
you would think it was.
You were right.
All right, Mary Veronica.
Oh,
Nice.
Awesome.
love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great
I'm challenged a
sunlight.
lot by I did a lot of aura type lines because I'm really challenged with that.
It is.
And I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
not using official Zentangle paper. I don't know if it's partly the paper. I think it's my hand though. And so anyway, you see all these aura type things because I'm trying to get it right, but
Right.
Okay, first of all,
Very
part
good.
of it can be the paper because the way the paper resists the pen is different.
yeah.
So when it resists the pen, it can slow you down, which can help you develop better line work. That's one thing. The
Oh.
second thing is line work just takes bloody practice.
Yep.
It's a pain in the neck. All of us have looked at I was trying to organize, right? So I was looking at some early tiles and I'm like, oh, geez, my line work really sucked. But it's just a matter of practice. It's just, and the last thing I would say, and this I learned from Hillary, is line work improves if you stop and are more deliberate. That means slower and deliberate. And when you're auraing, aura underneath what you're auraing so you can see it.
Oh.
Okay, so like for the lines on top, because you had us, I should probably turn the tile, maybe?
Correct. Always turn your tile. Always turn your tile. I didn't when I showed it at first because I was trying not to have to turn it and turn it and turn it. But always turn your tile so when you are auraing, what you're auraing is above your pen. And then you can actually see what you're auraing. Does that make sense?
A lot of
Let
sense.
me show you what I mean. So if I've got this, right? And when I aura, I want to aura from underneath because that's how I see where I'm going.
Right.
And now if I want to aura above it, I'm going to flip it.
Okay.
Because now I can still see where I'm going.
That's a help, but it won't solve it all.
No, it will not. It's about practice. And it's also, you see where I went off? It's because I stopped being deliberate. And deliberate to me was a good word for her to use because it means slow and methodical. And once I got that in my head, and let your hand relax more. If you try those things, it will help because you're probably also gripping your pen really tight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We all do.
Big help. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Gwen, you already showed, right, Gwen?
Yeah.
All right,
week.
Joanne, do
I'll
you want to
what
show?
I've done this. I'll show you what I've done this week, but I'm
Okay, awesome. We would love to see.
Oh,
I love it.
Well,
It's
just
cute.
hard.
That's
I
good.
draw so much smaller than you guys do.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too. Yeah.
I'm practicing expanding my strokes.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time, I only did apprentice tiles because they were 5x5s. And I came to really hate them because the paper isn't as good. And so I didn't get that resistance I was talking to Mary about. So I went back to the 3.5x5s. And now I can get a hold of 5x5s that are that paper. But I find that I am more deliberate when I'm working on a 3.5x3.5 because I have to be. Because I can't say, oh, I have lots of room.
Mm-hmm.
So just for what it's worth. Joanne, you want to show, kiddo?
Sure. I'm not very far along, but
It's fine.
yes, you
Oh,
are.
nice.
Yes, you
Oh.
are. That's awesome.
Terrific.
Good
Yeah.
job. Woo-hoo.
Well,
Nice.
I ended up
Nice.
with the two tutors on the top and the bottom, and I thought I'm going to put the sunlight on the top and bottom.
Yes, I think that's
eventually.
perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I love it. That is wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you.
That makes me feel like this was okay to put this together for
It
y'all.
was fun. It was fun.
Well, you
It
never
was
know
fun.
for sure. Linda Connolly, do you want to show, honey?
I will.
Well, don't say it like that. I will.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Very good.
I've been saving tiles by just drawing in my book.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
sense to me.
I used to do that all the time, but I found that then I didn't have the tiles, and I started keeping a binder of them, and it's like, okay, I don't want to rip the pages out of my notebook either.
Right.
Right.
I have trouble working in a book because I can't turn it as easily. So,
Right.
and I turn my tile a lot. How Nani? Welcome.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
very good.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
The light's really strange on that, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why that
It
is.
is. That's weird. Or-
Well, light is weird. I'm having the
Yeah.
same issue, so light is light. It looks great though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great teacher.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Well, I thought it would be fun. I hope you had fun. That's what matters.
Absolutely.
That was great. That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Lots of fun.
Peggy, Peggy,
What?
I showed the class what idea I got and what I'm trying to do. Um, a few Christmases ago, my daughter-in-law gave me, she knew I was doing Zentangle, and she gave me a book of flowers. And I wanted to do something with all of the Zentangle that I've learned. So I opened her book and I started drawing different flowers
Nice.
inside the book.
Fun.
Oh,
Awesome.
my.
And when I fill it up, I told her, I said, sometime in the future, you'll get this book back, but I want to add Zentangle flowers and
Nice.
patterns.
That's marvelous.
So you
That's a
can,
wonderful thing.
it's, yeah, it's one of those lightning moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Love it, love it. All right. Is everybody good?
Yeah.
Good.
Is everybody okay? And you can keep working on this baby, and
Yeah.
next week Haunani's up, and you don't have any instruction or anything, do you, babe?
Okay.
No,
Okay, good. Just bring your stuff.
just bring your stuff.
That'll work.
How do
That's
you
what I
guys feel
say.
about working with some color?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean more like color pencils, nothing real fancy, just
Yeah,
play around a little bit. Okay.
that's a great weakness of mine. Color.
That's kind of why
Okay.
I want to work on it.
So,
Yeah.
Not because
Ann
of
and-
you, but
yeah, right.
I know.
All right, y'all. Ann and
Y'all
Joanne,
take
hang on.
care.
Okay.